What's wrong? 911, where's your emergency?
Hi. Let's stay there.
Where are you at?
No, it's Wagner?
Okay, what's going on?
I don't even know.
You don't know what's going on?
Is he breathing? Oh my God. My husband's friend is dead.
Okay, is that your husband?
My husband's freaking out. Yes, his best friend. My daughter. Elizabeth, get outside.
Ma'am.
She's on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Oh my God, he has a gun wound in the back of his head. He's a stroke.
What is your name?
My name is Sherry Kenny.
Sherry. You don't see a gun?
No, I don't see a gun.
Okay. Listen, I need you and your husband to back out of the residence and wait outside for the officers. Do you hear me?
All right.
The story starts on May 2017. Police in the small, quiet town of Bel Air, Ohio, find a man deceased in his basement with a gunshot wound to his head, was what the police would find once arrived at the scene. Once arrived, they would meet the husband and the wife that found the deceased man. David Kinney and his wife Cherry are longtime friends of the victim, who was 43-year-old Brad McCarry.
I can't believe that.
How long you guys been looking?
8, 9 years.
Oh, yeah.
My kids call him Uncle. He's supposed to go to the Bahamas with us in August.
Best buds, I think.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends.
He met him at coal mining classes years ago, and we just took him in his family.
I'm trying not to freak out. I'm sorry. I can't not see that. I'm not supposed to see that, man.
Once you go from the beginning, how you come about coming out here?
That right there is a weed eater, is the whole plant.
Okay. The breeding the weed eater?
Yes, sir. We come to the basement door and knocked, because my daughter knocked on the front door. I told her, I said, Cisco, knock on the back door. She went up and knocked on the back door. Door was open. I went up right behind her. I noticed that the kitchen was scattered. There was stuff all over the place. I told my wife, I said, Sherry, something's wrong.
When police looked in the basement, they found the body of Brad McCarry lying face first in the floor with a pool of blood around his head. Brad was a homosexual man that was quite open about his love for the same gender in a small conservative neighborhood. His friends stated that he had just ended a relationship with a man named Scotty, but they didn't know his last name, so they couldn't give it.
They stayed with him. I had an issue with him.
He's the last relationship he was in. It was pulled off, and he hasn't been with anybody ever since.
Who was the girl?
Yeah,
It was the guy.
He was in with the guy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, who was the guy?
Scott something.
Scotty. Oh, man.
Bad blood there,
I think this is a regular relationship breaker.
As the police officers looked around the house, officers noticed that it appeared to be ransacked. Oddly enough though, they noticed that nothing was taken. There were multiple new phones lying on the floor. A large television was also there, and along with money that was scattered across the floor. Now the police convinced that the robbery was staged. The next thought that came to their mind was it could have been a self-life taken thing. When the coroner arrives, he starts taking a look at Brad's body. It's apparent that there is a gunshot wound to his head, so he asks if the gun was found anywhere. But since when people take their own lives, they fall on top of the gun after committing the act, the police would roll over Brad's body, but to their surprise, there was no gun anywhere.
I don't see a firearm.
No, I didn't either. They flipped him over, they didn't see a gun. And that's the case, it wasn't no suicide.
He's a rigger. Who found him?
People outside.
David Kenny.
Detectives would begin to start interviewing Brad's family right away to try to build a timeline and also to get as much information as possible as to who could have done this. After getting the name of Scotty Butler, who was Brad's ex, they head to his house right away to interrogate him. When detectives arrive at the door, they would knock on the door, and to their surprise, Scotty's mother would open up, and she would state that Scotty had been in jail for the last 3 months for violating his probation, and with that in mind, Scotty was no longer a suspect, as now he has a solid alibi. So detectives would begin to take a look at the neighbouring houses that were nearby to see if there were any cameras filming towards Brad's house. And thankfully one neighbour had a camera that was faced towards the street near his house, and they were able to see who came in and came out from the home. While reviewing the footage, they would continue to interview friends and family. David had taken some pictures and screenshots that could help the detectives in the investigation, so they took his phone to copy the information. But the issue that the detectives were having at this moment was just the night before, Brad's cousin had said something that completely changed the direction of this investigation.
Sunday, we went to Grammy's. We were sitting around the table. It was just me and Brad and Heather, which is another cousin of mine. And he made a comment how this DJ guy, he was coming over. Brad's intent was it was romantic. He made a joke about taking a nap. And it wasn't taking a nap. He was insinuating that they were having sex. It was like quotation marks.
This was Sunday.
This was Sunday.
The day he was killed.
Yes.
What time do you leave?
Between 1:30 and 2.
Really?
Yes, he was
That's
supposed
the first I heard of that.
He was dropping all the tuxes off. I also know that he was married. They've been
Who
married.
told you that?
Brad did.
Brad told you?
Yeah. She, being the wife, didn't know all this time. They've been doing this for years. From what I understand, the two of them, Brad and DJ, kind of, I don't know if they laid low or they completely broke up. I guess they call him DJ or David Kenny.
Really?
Yes. It's the only
How do
guy.
you know that?
Because it's the only guy he's ever told me about. It's the guy. That's him.
The guy.
That's him.
The detectives made David believe that they were taking his phone for a copy of information and the pictures that he had, but the truth was they were tracking where his phone was when Brad was murdered, as well as finding out that he and Brad had a relationship that was just more than friends. When they took a look at his phone, they saw that he deleted everything, but they were able to still see the text between him and Brad, and the evidence on the phone shows that they had a very intimate relationship. They reviewed the phone history and it showed that David's phone was directly on Brad's house at the time of the murder. They also discovered while reviewing the neighbor's CCTV footage that David had driven to Brad's house right before the murder in his wife's car, then left 40 minutes later. David would then reappear hours later in a truck with his family, delivering the weed eater that Brad supposedly wanted to borrow. Police know that David was there when Brad was killed. Now they need to work to get the truth out of David.
Where's your phone putting you at Brad's house the time he got killed? It's past 3.
I was not there when Brad was killed.
You were at his house.
Yes, sir.
I'm the murderer. You were
Oh,
there.
God.
You know exactly when he was killed.
Yes, sir, I know.
You were there when he was killed.
No, sir, I was not at his house when that man was murdered. Sir, I can't.
This is the kind of shit that gets people in trouble.
Oh, my God, I know.
We're gonna lose everything. Lose your wife, lose your kids. Look at me. This don't have to be the end of your life. You got a chance to come clean and tell me about the relationship. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. We're past there. It's okay. We'll do this together. Tell me what happened.
He showed up. He had another guy with him. I don't know who he was. I don't know his name. I swear on everything. Just holy right.
What happened next?
He went in the garage.
It's okay. David. Look at me in the eye, bud. Tell me. What happened next?
He was so scared. You heard a gunshot? The guy came running out of the garage. And he got to Brad's BMW.
Okay.
And then I left.
There's a couple things you need to know. Brad's front seat in the Beamer was full of stock that he brought from Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
He didn't have a passenger.
Sir, that guy went back into the BMW.
Doing this job for many of years, the detective knows that people subconsciously hide their face when lying, especially from the police. The police also know that Brad's SUV was still at the house and had not left since Brad was killed. So, of course, this version of David's story was a lie.
We got to the house. I'm telling you the garage truth of life. There was another man there. I swear to you, God, to you, I do not know his name. I do not know his name. We did kind of have a little bit of an argument. We He shot Brad. Are you? Yes, sir. And he was going to shoot me. But I got scared. I didn't know what to do. And then I left. Oh.
Okay.
It's okay. He knew what I looked like. My vehicle was there. I did not know what to do.
What kind of gun was it?
I have no clue.
Why did you call the cops? Why did you do this elaborate story? Why did you put your own daughter in that basement with that body? You did that.
Yes, sir.
And you knew he was down there. So damn it, quit screwing your family.
Sir,
Tell me what happened.
I did not kill him.
You knew Brad was dead, and you brought your
I did
daughter?
not know he was dead.
The detective now creates a false story to help David become more comfortable with opening up about what happened. Even though the detective knows that David will lie again, he also knows that they're getting closer to the truth.
I'll tell you something. Sometimes when bad shit happens, people panic. Okay? I got a theory. I think it might have been an accident. I think that maybe somebody was around and accidentally shot him. And I panicked. Didn't think anybody believed him. Was it an accident? Am I right? Drop all this shit and just let it out. Brad deserves it. Brad's family deserves it. Your wife deserves it. Your kids deserve it.
Brad didn't want me to leave my wife for I love my wife and kids to death.
You love Brad too?
I did.
And sometimes you think about leaving your wife for him? Okay.
I told him numerous times, man, I'm not gonna leave my wife. Kid me and smacked me around a couple times. He said, if you end all of this now, then I'm done with you forever. He got real loud with me. You know, kind of like up in my face. He had those little derringers.
Cross the line, man. Stop. Look at me. Let it go. Tell me what happened next.
He had it in his hand. Just kind of like waving it at me, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Telling me, you know, you're up, I'm tired of you, I can't believe you my emotions this long and just to call it quits. He kept waving it at me, so I grabbed it.
Okay. What happened after you grabbed it?
I pushed him.
Okay. And what happened?
I saw.
After this statement, David stops talking to the detectives and asks for a lawyer. And even though he says he shot Brad, he would go to court pleading not guilty. And on February of 2018, David was convicted of aggravated murder with a gun.
If this man was able to do an assassin's job to someone he loved and his best friend, what could he do to his enemy or someone who opposed him?
Kinney, for his part, did offer a brief apology in court, although he made neither an admission nor did he offer an explanation.
I would like to apologize to the Gary family for all the hurt and pain that I put you through, and for any of this to happen, and I wish I could take it all back. I know all the apologies in the world will never bring him back, but I want you to know I truly am sorry for it all.
The defendant shall serve life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 3 years beyond life.
Prison records indicate that David remains incarcerated at the Belmont Correctional Institution in St. Clairsville, Ohio.